It was supposed to be a peaceful mission, a diplomatic envoy sent to broker peace between two warring alien factions. But something went terribly wrong. The Zorvax, a brutal, technologically advanced alien species, had attacked without warning. Their ships tore through the peacekeepers' vessels with terrifying precision, leaving nothing but debris in their wake. The survivors, mostly human, scrambled to make it to the nearest escape pods as the Zorvax forces closed in, but not all of them made it. By the time Commander Emily Graves and her team made it to the escape pod, it was already full. There was no room for her. Her team, made up of elite soldiers from Earth, fought tooth and nail to secure their escape, but the odds were against them. The Zorvax were relentless, and the remaining humans were forced to fight their way back to the nearest planet, hoping for a miracle. A miracle, however, did not come. The planet they landed on was called Tre, a barren world full of dangerous creatures and hostile environments. The humans were stranded, no way to communicate with their command or request reinforcements. And the Zorvax were closing in, eager to finish what they had started. With limited supplies and a hostile environment to contend with, the team made the decision to set up a base and prepare for the worst. They knew it was only a matter of time before the Zorvax tracked them down. Commander Graves, a veteran of countless battles, had seen this kind of situation before. She knew what had to be done. The humans couldn't wait to be rescued. They had to take matters into their own hands. The first step was securing a perimeter. Graves sent out scouts, led by Sergeant Rachel Carter, to find any traces of Zorvax forces. It didn't take long before Carter and her team stumbled upon something far worse than they could have imagined. Deep within the dense jungle of Tre, they'd found a Zorvax base, a large, heavily fortified structure surrounded by a network of sensors and patrols. It was clear the aliens had set up camp, preparing to wipe out the humans for good. Carter's heart pounded in her chest as she relayed the news back to the base. They couldn't fight them head-on. At least not without a full-scale army. But there was one thing the humans had that the Zorvax didn't: ingenuity. Graves gathered her team and put the plan into motion. The human soldiers had no intention of sitting idly by and waiting for the Zorvax to finish them off. They would make their stand, and when the time came, they would show the Zorvax what killer humans were really capable of. They began by setting traps and ambushes, using the planet's rugged terrain to their advantage. They learned the patterns of the Zorvax patrols, taking out small groups of soldiers one by one. Each victory gave them hope, but the real battle was still ahead. As the days wore on, the Zorvax began to suspect that something was wrong. Their patrols grew more cautious, and their attacks became less frequent. But it was already too late. The humans were ready. Commander Graves had a bold plan. She would infiltrate the Zorvax base using their own technology. She and a small team of soldiers managed to acquire some Zorvax uniforms from a recent skirmish. The plan was to infiltrate the base, disable their main power grid, and destroy their command center. The mission was dangerous, but it was the only way to end this. Under the cover of night, they made their move. Graves and her team snuck past the Zorvax guards, relying on their human resourcefulness to avoid detection. Their training and survival instincts kicked in, allowing them to move swiftly and silently through the enemy camp. Inside the Zorvax base, they planted explosives, sabotaged communication relays, and set fire to key fuel supplies. But as they were about to complete their mission, disaster struck. A Zorvax patrol spotted them. The battle that followed was fierce. Gunfire echoed through the narrow halls, and explosions rocked the walls of the Zorvax base. Graves' team fought valiantly, but they were vastly outnumbered. It was clear that this was the final confrontation. Then, just as it seemed they would be overrun, a miracle did happen, but this time it wasn't some distant ally coming to the rescue. The escape pods from the damaged human ships had landed on a tray after all, and they were carrying the most dangerous asset humanity had ever produced: the killer humans, the ruthless, unrelenting soldiers who had earned their nickname in wars long past. These were humans who had been trained in the deadliest arts of combat, and they were known for one thing above all: they never, ever lost a fight. The killer humans arrived in force, storming the Zorvax base with weapons and tactics that overwhelmed even the alien forces' advanced technology. They'd fought with a ferocity and brutality that shocked the Zorvax, who had never encountered such a relentless force. The battle was short, but it was brutal. The Zorvax forces were shattered, their once pristine base reduced to rubble. The humans didn't stop until every last enemy was neutralized and the survivors were taken prisoner. When it was over, Commander Graves looked at the remaining soldiers. They had done it. They had won. They had proven that humanity, no matter how small or outmatched, could always find a way to survive. And in the end, it was the killer humans, those who had been written off as too dangerous to be trusted, who came to their rescue. And as the dust settled, one thought echoed in Graves' mind. The Zorvax would never underestimate humanity again.